All right, welcome back to Diversified, gentlemen. Y'all know me, y'all know Reese. We're gonna get into something. It's gonna be probably a part three-part series, getting into just man talking, we can call it. You know, just kind of talking about things we thought we knew that we didn't know, how that affects us as men, with our families, with our friends. Just get into it. Here we go.
All right,
bro. Here it is.
Yeah. It's been a minute, man. We had a little hiatus regarding just the distance with kind of throwing a wrench in the whole plan when we come to Tampa. Thought you guys would be able to get down here more, do all of that, but life happens. So trying to get back on track, trying to get consistent again. Just like anything in life, things ebb and flows, but fall down and get back up.
Y'all see, we only got two of us right now.
Yeah.
One of the Diversified gentlemen guy, he had to work, but hey, we still got to make it happen. It's whatever. What is it? Just me and you.
That's it.
What's on your mind, man? Tell me,
Yeah, man.
how you doing? For real, how you doing? Not like, don't give me the podcast. Great, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
What's real?
So the real is kind of like you started off with the unlearning what you've learned.
Right.
So getting out here to Tampa, being by myself, it really just opened my eyes to things as far as the man I am and thought I was, and then more importantly, the man I want to be. You know what I mean? So that was a big part of it, and me kind of just disconnecting from the world, disconnecting from social media, and even WhatsApp, just connecting from people and just trying to figure things out.
You got some posts, man. You pulled from the chat group. I was worried about you. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, hey, Reese one of the strongest dudes I know, mentally, physically, had it all together. So to see you so vulnerable, man, I was like, something's up. This is not Reese at all. That called you like, hey, something's not right. Pulling away from that, just everything. Pulling up some of the posts, you posted. Knowing who you are, I'm like, something's definitely up. Obviously, that's not something that you would put out there. You know what I mean? It's not something that's part of who your personality is. So the fact that you would do that, make yourself vulnerable, and share that, there's two things that let me know. One, something's up, and number two, you care about other people still to put your struggles out there. To hopefully they can hear something that you're going through, they can relate to.
Yeah.
That's tough. I know that's tough.
Yeah.
So, do you think that was a good thing? Do you feel like it helped you? Or do you feel like it helped other people? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, so it was twofold. On one end, you had a bunch of people reaching out, seeing how I was doing, and to be honest, when you're in a dark space like that, you don't want to necessarily talk to people reach out. You want to be in the dark, right? It's like, you going to sleep, room's pitch black, someone turn on the light, you like, yo, turn that light back off, like, or if you down, you listen to like sad music because you just want to stay in that mood. It's like you cold and you got this sheet of this like darkness and depression, and you put it on you and you just want to read. So it's
wallow into it even more.
It's nuts that you think you would want to get better, but in a dark place sometimes you just want to be like, leave me in this dark place, but which is not healthy.
I was saying, did it help though?
No, hell no, it's not healthy. And then on the other end, you had people reaching out like, yo, like, thanks for, I feel the same way, thanks for blah, blah, blah. And we had one of the brothers on our chat reached out. I'm thinking he was checking on me, but he wanted to vent. He was like, yo, when you had this post, and he was so vulnerable. Then he started talking about himself. Because he's like, man, you vulnerable. Now I trust you. I'm going through something similar. Not going through something similar, but I feel similar. Yeah. Let me tell you how, and to be honest, that made me feel good because, sometimes I do feel that, damn, why me? Why am I going through this? And then I'm just like, maybe the reason is so I can share it and I can, it could be used for something positive. And I think, a lot of times when things happen, you go through something, especially as men, you go through something, and someone's like, oh yeah, I went through that too. I'm like, man, that would be good if you would have told me. Right. So every chance I get, I like to share my experience, to a certain extent. But I just like to share my experience. And this one has been a traumatic and like a life changing.
Right. Before we get into like a little more details on things you thought you knew, before you had this I won't say call it a crisis. I don't want to call it that, but you're going through some things.
Yeah.
Us as your friends, be real. We got people that you talk to, friends. Did you feel before anybody called you that we were there to be able, but you know you can call us for support? Did you feel that way? Be honest. Did you feel that? I got people I know I can call right now.
I mean, I would say yes, logically.
Right.
Because here's the thing: when it comes to depression, your emotional, irrational side takes over the logical side. So it's like, this one, it kind of beats it down, right? So I think logically, yeah, it's definitely a couple of guys that I call. You guys been there for me before.
Right.
I've been there for you guys. So logically, I know, like, yeah, pick up the phone, say, going through this. And I actually did. One of the first people I called, but then as the male ego, you're just like, man, no one understands.
That's what I'm gonna get to.
Or you're like, or you feel like, man, I'm the only person in the world this has ever happened to.
Right.
Or I'm gonna look like a sucker for bringing this to you. You know what I'm saying? So you just hold it. You just hold it close.
Right.
And being here, where I know a couple of people out here in Tampa, but like my closest friends aren't here. My family isn't here, so it's one of those deals where, I go to work, then I come home to an empty set, and then nothing's there but my thoughts.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's not a good thing when you are in a dark, depressive state.
Something I learned from it, this situation was, for me personally, is that I foster a friendship with you to let you know before something, any not just you, but anybody that I love, my friends, that I foster a relationship in a way that they know if something go through something like that they can call me. And I don't think I've done that. I've been purposeful in friendship building to the way where it's not just be cool, you hang out, do things, and we trust each other, but to let you know that for a fact something goes down, I can call these people. I don't think as men we do that. I don't think we let each other know or give each other that comfort or that conversation takes place. We don't have this conversation beforehand. We didn't have to. We don't talk about it until it happens. We're reactionary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm thinking we should be more proactive with our friendships and love for our friends to be able to be ready. You know what I mean? Have that group network saying, hey, any of y'all going through this, anybody, we gotta be there for each other.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
it's kind of weird because it's a weird where everything, seems cool. That why would you have that conversation?
Exactly.
Like,
we don't do it.
Like when we smoke cigars, when we out to dinner,
right?
when we at the football
purposeful,
game.
Man.
Yeah, you're right. But it's like,
be.
when do you bring that up? Like, hey,
by the way,
everybody stop laughing. Let's stop talking about sports.
No, they're winning right now. Hold on.
How y'all doing right now? Open up. Tell me about your relationship. Tell me about your job.
Not even that stuff. Not even doing it then, but letting everybody know that they can do that.
Yeah, but
it's kind of awkward.
As guys, like, hey, bro, whenever you need something.
Right.
Hey, been cool kicking with you today, but if you need something, like, give them a big hug.
Give them in there.
But we punch each other in the arm and say, keep
all right.
Hey, it's been real, bro.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it's just the dynamic, unfortunately.
I think we should change that. I mean,
you damn right.
It should be a thing, especially, I mean, I hate to use the term alpha male, sigma male.
Yeah.
But we're, I would say, driven. I won't say aggressive. What's the word I want to use? I always use aggressive, for that's a better word. Aggressive, driven males, especially small in our circle, to be able to do that, because that's vulnerability. It's a chink in the armor. You know what I mean? And you want one of the leaders in our group of friends. You do a lot of planning, you do a lot of leading. If you don't do certain things, we don't move. So when you have that vulnerability, everybody's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
But I think we had to talk about that stuff beforehand. We had those conversations, a deep conversations, not just about sports, what we doing this weekend, or what's going on, but real deep conversations need to take place more.
Cause it's crazy, cause like it happens, you a man, you married, you got kids, you got jobs.
Right.
We all have the same stressors.
Same thing.
But we all talk about, the trivial shit that doesn't really matter, which is cool because you need that kind of distraction, you need that balance, but it's like when it's only that, and then all right, you done talking with your friends, and then you go back to your real life, and all this stuff is still there. Who do you got to talk to? And I feel that women, man, they're just so open and it's so vulnerable.
Right.
And I think they're just so, I think they know when they go to another woman, they're like, yeah, come in there, this happened to me too, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then they huddle around each other, like, oh, let's go,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
get our dubs. But I think even it's awkward for me going to you, and some men it's awkward, like, dang, this brother's crying, or this dude's what do I say, you know?
But I want to break that. I'm gonna say you gotta not normalize us sitting there crying all the time. We still men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a different level of bravado. When we talking in circles, we don't talk about this kind of stuff. Everything but that. Everybody's, you know, we boisterous. Everybody's trying to get their words in, and
they
we
just
don't
don't.
do it.
If you got kids, you gonna have issues with kids.
Yeah, you're gonna
If
have
married,
it.
like,
You're gonna feel inadequate doing certain things.
If you've been in a career for us, especially the military, those stressors, you're gonna be like fed up sometimes,
Right.
Things, and then this life happens. Like again, when my mom died, that was a big impact as well. Like, but everyone passes away. Everyone, for the most part, if you're lucky, your parents are gonna die for you. Because the worst is, you know, if you die, your kid dies. You know, everyone's gonna go through it, and these are things we go through that, but we just don't. Like you say, we don't prepare to like give the heads up. So if your parent is, if I know your mom is sick, I should be saying, hey, everything good? How you holding up? This before, you know, she passes away, and then you're either busy or you're really in that, you know, seclusive state.
Right.
You know, I should be building up to that, and then, you know, having that, I don't know, building that rapport beforehand. Yeah.
So I'm talking about the same thing, just building up continuously. That way, it's not like, all right, everybody on deck, let's go. It should be continuous.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do that purposely. And it may be a thing we gotta learn. You know what I mean? We're not psychologists, sociologists. We don't.
So speaking of that, I've been through a lot of therapy over the last 4 months. Just a lot of therapy, probably 3 months. 2 therapists. So if you're in the military, I use Military One Source. Just went straight through. You know, call the 1-800 number.
Right.
They just found me someone locally. Just obviously with COVID, did it on Zoom. And then also you got the MFLAC, the Military Life, the Military Family Life Council. I don't know, something like that, right? Where it's just more quicker, easier access, and that's face to face. But you know, just learning a lot about myself, just telling my situation, and them saying, you know, and them like going deeper and be like, well, this is probably why it is, right? So for instance, I will tell you what I learned. Even though you see me for what I am, I discovered that, you know, I practiced like self-destruction because I didn't feel worthy or deserving of my life.
Just something you figured out,
something they figured out, or something we came to basically. Yes, but it's one of those deals where I felt that, you know, being married, having 4 kids, having the lifestyle I live, you know, I felt maybe not I didn't deserve it, but maybe it was gonna come to an end sooner. Because this, you know, this is the way, you know, I was raised. My dad not being around, him being an addict, and you know what I'm saying, and just like I felt that certain things was inevitable, and you know, and I told one of my therapists that just from a young age, I always felt I would go to jail. I don't know why, but I just felt that way.
When I was in your head.
I don't know why. She was like, yeah, you get that in your head and you think that.
I think we taught that too.
Yeah, and you feed that.
You're not supposed to make it.
Yeah, like I literally had no idea how or when, but I'm just like, you know, most black men do, you know, my dad did, and yeah, so just gotta wait and see, right? So when you have that mindset, you're gonna be a little more careless and free with your decisions because it's like, it's inevitable. Another thing I discovered too, I felt that divorce was inevitable. So the way I moved around in the world, I just felt that, you know, you get married, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, however long later, you get a divorce, and that's just the way of life. And you know, being raised in a single family home, it was normal for me to be with one parent, so I'm just looking at my kids. It's, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And again, you once you think like that, you behave like that because your thoughts are basically your actions, your values and your thoughts are who you are, right? And then that becomes your actions. And
That's your baseline. That's your normal.
And your actions become you, the person you are, right? What your behavior, your continuous action behavior. And then when I actually look back at it and really evaluated it, I'm like, I'm a really bad person.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm a really bad person. And then kind of what you were saying with all the leadership, not the leader, I guess the leadership thing and the roles I have in the group chats.
You used to be independent. You used to take care of everything.
Yeah. Then I felt like I suck. Why would anyone follow me? Why would anyone listen to me? Then now I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed, and I'm like, I need to, seclude myself because I'm a horrible person. I suck. I'm not worthy of this. Saying like, who am I to be, to be in any position, even in the military, even as an officer? Like, who am I I'm taking someone else's spot. You know what I mean? And then, you kind of go down that spiral.
No, you know what? It makes sense. You think about it this way. You know how they say leaders are real stressed out, like commanders are real stressed out in leadership positions. If you think about it this way, you were a social leader. Yeah. Think about it. You led a lot of planning and foregoing. I mean, like about investors, who ran that? Who did the Zoom calls? Who did all that? Yeah. So that social leadership, that stress, it makes sense. So now when you have a kink, something happens, that all hits you at the same time.
Yeah, it all like
everything at once. Bow.
Yeah, it's just every spectrum. Again, I get here, I get off of work, I go to the gym. I make myself go to the gym so I don't think about stuff. But then when I'm here, I'm just sitting there, just in my thoughts, like, and then just like anything in life, whatever you feed, it grows. So I'm just in these thoughts, and I feed it, and these thoughts grow and grow and grow. And I just go down a deeper and deeper path, and then it's just like, I just suck. You know what I mean?
So where you at now? You realize you don't suck, right?
No, you know what I'm saying? It's a you just don't come out of depression like that. I've been like diagnosed with depression. You know what I'm saying?
Process.
Yeah, so it's a process, and then once you realize that, just like anything, oh, you have a gambling problem, oh, you're addicted to this. How do you overcome it, right? So once you discover that about yourself, now you got to start the work to do the training. So I go to therapy once a week. I'm in church a lot more. I'm in the gym every day. Just those things that are more positive versus just chilling on this balcony, smoking a cigar, just saying.
I was up there. I was taking a nap about an hour ago.
So it's a great place when the sun's out and you're happy. But let's call it a couple of weeks ago, if it's raining, I would have been out just chilling in the rain. Just saying F it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a gloomy day. I feel gloomy. I want to be a part of this.
Oh, yeah. It's like they forward that blanket. It makes it.
Yeah, like this is great. Like sad music is on. Let me turn this up. You know what I'm saying? And turn the lights on. Turn these lights off. Turn the lights down. So once you discover it and kind of diagnose, then you have to make that conscious effort. All right, this is what it is right now. You gotta make that conscious effort, but I don't want that to be right. I want to overcome it. So I know there's a greater purpose.
Cool. That's what I'm gonna say. You understand that and trying to push towards it.
I will say, I mean, for the most part, it's the kids. You know what I'm saying? I feel that.
I'm gonna ask you, what's that thing that you
have
hanging?
I think I found my purpose.
Yeah, I think
I found my purpose. Just for so long, I always wanted to know, like, what's your purpose, right? And I think, for me anyway, I was looking at like this grand deal, like it's black and brown investors, this getting every black person on earth, making them financial literate.
Right.
Is it going back to Chicago and changing Chicago around? Is it these big grand movements? And then I discovered the woman I'm with, and I've been married for almost 15 years. When I was 19, I prayed for her. I prayed for the type of woman she is. And at 20, I was introduced to her. And at 21, I was fortunate enough to marry her. Then we had 4 kids. I'm the only child, so I wanted I always said I wanted 3, 4. I think I said at first I started off with 4 or 5 kids, then I said 3 or 4. But I got that, right? So I got 3 girls and a boy. I always wanted a boy. I had a dream. My 4-year-old, I used to dream about the boy he is right now. It's crazy, right?
Really?
So then I realized, like, really just came to the conclusion, like, my purpose is them. My purpose is to be with the woman I'm with and to raise these 4 kids in a crazy world and in the image and all the things I wish I had, basically. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, like, all the other stuff I'm doing is great, but I need to drill down the focus
on what I prayed for.
On the simple stuff, on the basic stuff. And I can still do all the other stuff. And to be honest, they feed off of each other. Like, you doing this will make me a better leader than everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the point of gaining the world and losing your family? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of that?
The biggest thing too is that when you finally discover you have what you prayed for a long time ago, didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
You sit down like, oh wait, I forgot I prayed about it. I got it, didn't even recognize it. I'm moving on to something else so fast because the timing is not when we think it's gonna be. And when it happens, sometimes we miss it and we get to be thankful for it and kind of calm ourselves down to appreciate it a lot more.
So, but people, so I got married at 21.
Yeah.
About 24, 25, 26, I started losing my mind because I'm like, damn, I'm 24, 25. Why am I
married? I'm locked down.
I'm like, I got 2 kids. I just got commissioned. So now I'm feeling myself. I'm making money. I'm just looking around like, my boys back home. They ain't a prime. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They wilding out. I'm like, but I'm in the house. I'm having birthday parties and going to jumpy castles and I should be out. I'm 25, 26. Women are saying I'm attractive now. I got enough money to pay for something. Like, wait, what am I doing? Like, I got married young, and that was the excuse. Then you go to certain people, and you're like, yo, I'm feeling something. What? Why you feel this way? I'm like, I got married at 21. They're like, whoa, you got married at 21. And they validate it. And I'm just like, see, now you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then fast forward 10, 11, 12 years later, where I'm at now, I look back and I'm like, damn, I'm so blessed to have met the one at 20, because now everyone this age is like rushing to meet the one. They all had their fun.
Struggling to find somebody.
Yeah, now they just struggling. Not even struggling. Like, they're depressed. Like, man, you know how many times people say, I'm looking for what y'all had got. I wish I had what you got. And you know what I mean? And just like really hit me like real deep. Like, and again, it's bittersweet because you come to that conclusion, but then I look at the mindset I used to have and what I put her through, and all that. I'm like, damn, I'll suck again, right? So it's that balance. Like, I'm happy, I'm grateful, but what the hell was I, right? So that's where, it's full circle. One of the grateful things I do have is all this time, right? So I could be in the gym and I can build my body, right? Because I will tell you, a part of like my drive to like compete and this fitness competition is I want to validate myself, that I want to get like a win under my belt, right? Someone said, man, you look great, right?
Control, 100% control this.
100% control, that physical aesthetic. All right, so then I want, then I go to, yoga and stuff and this meditation, and it's really, I just discovered meditation, like yoga, like 3-4 weeks ago, and I'm like, yo, this is the greatest thing I've heard. It's calming, this meditation, like really,
sitting quiet.
This, at the end of it, when you just lay there, it's like almost like you hypnotize, they be like, all right, get up, I'm like, man, and those mantras and the thing they're saying, reinforcing, I'm like, man, they're saying the super simple stuff, but it feels so good. And it's like, who says to themselves, like, compassion, forgiveness, ego, let it go, like, you know what I'm saying, focus on your breath, you know what I'm saying, and to have someone like almost coaching you, and then also therapy for me to talk through things and for them to say, look at it from this point of view, or maybe it's because of this, and I'm like, damn, for that.
Do y'all speak it out loud when you do that stuff?
I'm sorry?
Do y'all talk it out loud?
What, yoga?
No, do y'all say like the, forgiveness?
Yeah.
Out loud?
Well, the instructor does.
Oh, okay, so you hear it.
Okay. So it's like, breathe in forgiveness, breathe in compassion, breathe out ego, breathe out negativity. I'm like, I'll be blowing it out, right? You know, and it feels good. It actually does, you know what I'm saying? The body and the mind come together in that meditative state. But then you got therapy, which also has a purpose, and then you have church, which is, you know, someone giving you the word in the gospel, where it's like, we all mess up. The time is now. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to get closer to God. You're here for a reason. And then, you know, learning about all the people in the book who's been through similar things and
or even worse.
Actually became a great, you know, had great impact later, right? And it was probably because of those trials and tribulations before. So all of that coming together from, you know, the physical, just being in the gym, the mental with therapy, the spiritual with, you know, yoga, meditation, and religion.
Sounds like body, mind, spirit.
It's real though.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's like, you know, even the military talking about the 4 pillars, and it's so corny and it's so accurate, right? Because when someone did it, they did it with a purpose. But obviously, just like with the military do everything, they shove it down your throat and they make it corny. But actually having the time to actually being able to focus on all of those things, you know, I am fortunate and I gotta take advantage of that.
Question I would ask you: do you take like time during your day for dedicated prayer?
At night I do.
The reason I asked that's something I started doing and it's helped out. When I say tremendously, I'm taking like a specific time, nobody around, where I would pray out loud. I usually pray in my mind, but I do it out loud and I hear myself and my words, like I'm having a conversation with God. To me, it's been more powerful. It's been a lot more, I get a lot more clarity, I get a lot more peace during that way. So I tell everybody I can now, is try that. It's gonna sound awkward at first, you hear yourself talking to yourself. When you get this, especially here, when you by yourself and get that peace and that quiet, try that also. Is meditate on that word. You just have a conversation with God. You don't have to sound like back in the day the deacons be praying and all these extra words and sounding all praying each other. You gotta do all that. It's you and God having a conversation.
Conversation, straight
Talk
up.
to him. You know what I mean? You talk to him. And that's worked for me. And I tell everybody I can is that's where that meditation, that prayer comes into play. Is that you're speaking to him and you just sit in silence. You just sit there in your thoughts and you do that breathing thing you do and letting out all that stuff. Say those words in conjunction with prayer. It's like, to me, it's supercharging. You know, that dedication to that. You know, as I say, just try that out too. You know. But yeah, man. What you want to get into?
What up?
That's what else you want to get into?
Yeah, just the practice of, you know, it's very important to learn. It's so important to learn, but it's just important to unlearn.
I was going to ask you is, not getting specific, but what was one big thing you had to unlearn that you almost wished you would have known way before, but you're so grateful you know it now?
So growing up, having a single mom, right? I didn't have a male role model.
Right.
And she obviously a woman can't teach a man to be a man. You know, so she had to play both parts.
Society will tell you though they can, but it's not gonna happen.
Can't happen sometimes. Obviously they do the best they can. You can still be great people, you can learn great lessons, but you can't, right? You just can't. It's not, how's that possible, right? So one of the things I honed on to was when growing up, you know, my mom passed away at 58, and I think at the time she filed bankruptcy twice. And I know when I was in high school, that was the first time she got diagnosed with breast cancer. And one of the things she focused on, or I would always hear her be like, you know, if she was talking to a dude, she always be like, this guy thinks he's crazy, he don't even pay my bills, blah, 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 right? So I always focus on like the finance piece, the economics. So when I got to a certain age, and I started paying all the bills, I thought I was the man. That was it. Like I didn't.
Like pain.
That's it. That's me being a man. You know, especially in my 20s, I'm making more than all the men I grew up around, right? So I'm like, not only am I doing the right thing, I'm exceeding most men, especially men of color, right? If you look at the statistics, you know what I'm saying? I'm killing it. So now I get to do whatever I want to. And no one could question me, right? So I felt entitled to do at the expense of whoever's feelings in my career or anything. I got to do what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, like I told you before, I thought divorce was inevitable.
Right.
So it didn't matter, right? So so that was very eye-opening. So not only did I feel entitled, the real deep part is I felt obligated to. Because I felt that if you are a man of like power, wealth, success, any of that, you know, if you're, you know, women find you attractive, you should be doing these things, because if not, it's going to waste, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's deep, right? So then, you know, you got to think, like really thinking, you know, I've heard it a couple times, but what do you want to be known for when you leave?
I think of that all the time.
What do you really want to be known for? Like, what, like, seriously, like, and it's not just like a quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's something you really got to marinate on. And that was the biggest thing. Like, I remember Allen Iverson one time, they was interviewing him, they was talking about him being like, you know, barely 6 feet, 160 pounds, just killing it, talking about how tough he is, and he was like, you know, I got kids, man. I don't care if my kids think I'm tough.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be tough. You know what I mean? And you know, even listening to Mike Tyson now, just talking about how he is, right? This 180 is super wise, but you know, that's what I just really realized. Like, you know, what I was doing, and you know, my cockiness, my arrogance, my whatever, bravado. Like, yeah, it's good in some instances, and you know, like you say, kind of started off with the aggression. Sometimes you need to get stuff done and accomplish things, but to have that all the time and be like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. I'm this way, got us this far. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like,
can't get in line.
Yeah, or what? Yeah, what else do you want me to do? Like, look at the house you live in. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't pay any bills, or you know, the kids aren't going. I could do. You can't ask me nothing. You know what I'm saying? So just having that mindset was just completely wrong, and not only that, having to understand the environment I got kind of fueled that, and then kind of got to remove myself from that, right? So, you know, if there's people around you that fuel that and agree with that, and you know, will basically continue to
just reinforce it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta remove yourself from that, right?
How do you recognize this happening though? When you're in it, it's pretty hard to recognize that.
But you know, when you're in it, it's impossible.
Yeah,
because you don't know what's wrong.
It's like the Matrix. You don't know what's existing. It takes an event to kind of wake you up and like, whoa, wait, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta have that. Even the events affect us negatively sometimes, and they hurt and things happen. Sometimes we need that to wake us up, to shake us.
Yeah,
if I did this, man, that get your attention. But if I slap you in the face and your glass hit the couch, you'll be like,
yeah, Charlie Murphy.
Like, wake up. You know, that's to get your attention. It's gonna make you stop and think like, what are you just talking about? You slapped me in the face. You didn't gotta talk about it.
Yeah, my therapist calls that she calls it a successful crisis. She calls it a successful crisis.
Successful crisis.
Yeah, like, you know, it's a crisis that, you know, no one wants to go through, but it has positive effects.
Successful crisis.
Yeah, so that was the main thing, just figuring out the man I was and the man I want to be, and then really having to understand, you know, there's good qualities in me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And keep those, and then just build on the other stuff and change the other stuff. But you know, at times it was hard because I just felt like there was no qualities good, and then I wouldn't lie, like there was times when I felt like going to sleep and not waking up. Right. Like I didn't want to be. I felt like the world would be a better place without me.
Man, I can tell you right now, we wouldn't be boys if we were chilling if you had qualities that I value. Because I have no time for people that ain't moving forward, there's not positive influences in my life. I cut them out. That's why I got a small circle. So the fact that I'm sitting here talking, you got qualities, bro. I'm telling you, I ain't trying to gas you up. Being real is that I know you get to those points, your mind tells you certain things, you get the depression you got to deal with. But I'm telling you right now, face to face, that you have qualities as a man, as a friend, you know, as a person that I value you. You know, so just understand that and remember that and keep that in your head. You think you're done, so you know what? I got value to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, your family value. You know they value you. You know what I mean? You just sometimes you get that dark point. You got to point out those things that you know people value. It's kind of like people with anxiety, they get those panic attacks, where they got to ground themselves and stay in reality. They got to point out there's a lamp, there's a glass, there's a light, kind of put themselves back into place. I probably do the same thing. You get to those points like, you know, when you're doubting your value or who you are, is to recognize that, you know what? I got friends that appreciate me, that love me. I know my kids love me. I know my wife loves me. I have this, and kind of focus on those things like specifically to help bring you out of that. Sometimes you don't. You get that blanket on you. You just pile on. You got to be purposeful in it, man.
Yeah.
It's self-talk. It's self-motivation.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know that that's in therapy and even in yoga, meditation, all that stuff. You learn those things, and then it's almost having like an eating addiction. It's like, I know I shouldn't be eating this. But then you get in that state.
Like carbs, you got to eat 2 weeks out.
Yeah, man. You're saying when you 10 days out, you know, 3 more days, I'll be 10 days out, I got to cut the carbs. But it's one of those deals where you're like, I know I'm not supposed to be eating this, but this tastes so good. Like I know before I eat, I know I'm supposed to have a smaller plate, but I'm gonna go with a bigger plate. I know before I eat, I should down a glass of water for my stomach. I know once I eat a plate, I feel like I'm hungry. I should just wait 5 to 10 minutes to see if I'm really. But you're just like, I know this, but no, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those deals like the mind is so strong, just like anything on earth. You gotta practice that. You gotta practice that positivity. You gotta practice that those reinforcements and those tools and tactics that you learn, because you can learn, you can be the smartest person in the world, but if you don't apply it, it's worthless.
It'll mean nothing. Right? Yeah. You're just going through the motion. I'm in that way now, and I keep the scripture. If I don't read every single day, I feel like I miss a beat, and I feel like I gotta catch up. Something's not right. I don't even feel the same way. It's the same. It's like a muscle. You gotta go through it, do it over and over and over, make it part of your habit, and now that habit is part of your lifestyle, and it's normal to you. Then when you don't do it, that's abnormal. Not you missing it, but the fact that, you know, I'm saying not that you're not doing it, but you gotta make it part of your life, make it part of that life cycle.
Yeah, just because it's like good habits, there's bad habits. So,
definitely.
One of my bad habits was going in these fits of rage, just negative thoughts, and I realized that there was a time of day, you know, when I told my therapist, and she was like, you know, you developed a habit of this, right? It takes 21 days to develop a habit, and we've been doing this for like 6 weeks now, and what you described, you've developed a habit of this negativity. And I was like, damn, so now we realize that we gotta break this habit. And once you get in the habit, it's very hard to break, right? So then you gotta reverse it. For one, you gotta identify it, then you gotta really want to, right? That's like with a lot of addicts, if they don't wanna get recovery, it's impossible. It's impossible. If they don't want recovery, you could strap them up and put them in rehab. But if they don't want to change, or if they don't believe they need to change, you know, it's pointless.
No, that makes sense. Make a lot of sense. Well, cool. What should we leave the people when we get out of here for part 2 and 3?
I would just say, you know, focus on your mental health, focus on your spirituality with it, either, you know, if it's religion, if it's meditation. Surround yourself with positivity, and that's even with the music you listen to, the content you consume on the internet or on the TV, just any of that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be aware of what you're putting into your body and what you're putting into your brain, which is probably more important. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like you're saying, like check in on each other
before.
Make it organic, right? Don't
keep it real.
Don't just, you know, show, because sometimes it's too late. You don't want someone's in a dark spot and you like banging on your door like, hey, talk to me.
Right.
You know, that you probably make your things worse, and you probably be more secluded, because that's kind of how I felt, you know. And then I will say, like, I tried to put on my game face so people. When I put that first post out, and then I got a bunch of hits, I was like, let me clear this up because every single I said, like, nah, everything's good, y'all. Like,
Yeah, I'm like,
leave me alone.
nah,
Like,
bro,
stop calling me,
you ain't about
man.
to shake me.
Yeah, stop calling me. Everything is good.
Right.
And it clearly wasn't. So, shout out to all the people that reached out. Thank you very much. And then, I don't know, man. Stuff's easier said than done. Life's a long journey.
It is. But I'll tell folks, man, it's you already mentioned it. It's your people you love and you're with them, relationship-wise. Make it continuous. Care about each other daily. Make it part of your routine with your friendship, not just at a moment of crisis or they need something or somebody in their family dies or they go through something else and you just, you give them a little care on Facebook and, you're in my prayers. Now, that should be constant before something happens. That way, it's, you said, organic, and they know they can rely on you for things. I would say you definitely have to do that. Make it purposeful. Friendship should not be just something that I'll talk to them when we have a good time, or when they need me, they'll call me. You need them, you call me. Beforehand, have conversations. Let them know that you love them, and keep it organic. That's the best thing you can do. Keep it organic with everybody. Good?
Good, man.
All right, so hey, stay tuned for part 2 and 3. We're going to add in Martinez and Laura Schooley coming up. We're going to have them fellows on and talk about the same thing, different perspective. Not just us, but other people, different lifestyles, see what they got to say. But outside of that, that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, continue to watch us. If you want something different from us, hey, put a comment down. Let us know what you think. We're all welcome to feedback. But outside of that,
we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Love you.
All right.
Y'all be good. Thanks for coming through. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content. Also, ensure that you like us on IG. And also, you can listen to the audio version on all streaming formats like Apple and Spotify.